Got a lot of work to do out there. There isn't much. Sorry. But in a way that's a good thing, because it means that there's people out there cleaning up after themselves. And that's what we want. That's what this is all about. Be responsible on target shooting on public land. And we're getting there. Cool. So let's keep an eye on it. Whenever you're out here and stuff, report back on the forum, Northwest Firearms. Let us know what you see out there and where things are going. And we'll kind of keep tabs on it that way and see how much of a difference we're able to make. And hopefully it's us making the difference. Let's do a brief safety information, and then we'll get on to a couple of other things. Safety-wise, use gloves when you can. Good to have boots, good shoe material. Watch out for wandering through the brush and everything. Glass things, you don't have to pick those up. Watch out for broken glass. There is some out there. Look before you grab. There may be needles or sharp objects. Those aluminum Coke and beer cans are just gnarly. They can cut you up really quick. So be careful on those. Good to have pickers if you have those also. Department of Forestry will have trash bags. We'll send those out. What we're going to do is take groups out, because these are all so clean. There isn't very much at all. A little bit up at that top one up there. But we'll go on down, and I'm not sure quite where we'll go. We'll organize that and get groups to follow each other out. Maybe 2-3 different sites down the road and across the other side of Highway 26. Safety-wise, anything else can we think of on safety issues? Oh, hazardous materials. How do we want to deal with that? Wayne or Randy?
We just leave it where it is, and then report back to us, and we'll figure out a way to pick it up.
Okay. All right. Should we bring it out by next to the road or anything?
Just no. Leave it where you
touch it
where you find it.
Okay, and hazardous materials are going to be things like, obviously, cans of oil or motor oil, that kind of stuff. What else?
Needles. Any liquid, if you don't know what it is, just leave it. Let us know.
Basically, if you look at it and you don't think you should touch it, don't touch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then let someone know.
Yeah, and try to note where it is. Maybe tell somebody else too, so they can remember, oh yeah, I know where that was. Anyway. Otherwise, we're here to do the cleanup stuff, and there may not be much to do that, but it's an awful lot more than just the cleanup. It's spreading the word to people to raise awareness, to be responsible on shooting on public land. Today is really about fire safety, fire prevention in target shooting, recreational target shooting. And these developed lanes out here by Oregon Department of Forestry are perfect examples of what fire safety is all about. So we'd like to thank them for doing what they have done to help in the efforts towards fire prevention. Randy Peterson with Oregon Department of Forestry. Would you come over, Randy, and introduce the other Department of Forestry personnel? Just because I can't pronounce their names.
We have Wayne Obel, also from the Forest Grove District. He's the Assistant District Forester and supervises State Forest Program. And Mary Schmeltz from our Salem office. She's with our Public Affairs Department, and she's here to help us set a good positive narrative about target shooting, fire safety related to target shooting, and the good work and partnership that we now have in place with Northwest Firearms.
Good. And that's the three of you then with Oregon Department of Forestry? Okay. Ian. With Northwest Firearms, stay here a minute. Northwest Firearms volunteers worked with the Oregon Department of Forestry, Tillamook State Forest Grove District, and we're out here working with them from the beginning of the development of these stages, and we'd like to show our appreciation for that. And so, Brian, if you would like to hand that off.
Thank you.
Wow.
What you guys did. That's beautiful.
That's very unexpected and appreciated.
Hope it'll find a nice place on your wall.
Very in our lobby for sure. Thank you. It means a lot to us.
And that's just from recreational target shooters who recreate here in Tillamook State Forest.
So there were several other folks from our office that were also instrumental in helping us develop these sites and address target shooting. And one of them couldn't be here today, Jason Rautenkrantz. He's since taken another job with the private sector, but he worked very closely with Norm and Brian and Eric and Bill on some of the cleanup work that you guys have done in the past, plus all the work up here with the development of the lanes. And there's several other names on the plaque. Mike Cafaretta, who's our district forester, has been very supportive of target shooting and the partnership with Northwest Firearms and the work we've been doing. And then Brock Ronning and Les Hanna were our equipment operators and did most of the work up here for us. And then Erin Olson, she's our roads unit manager and kind of an engineer, and she helped us kind of set the sites up and direct the efforts of our road crew staff. And then I'd like to again thank Brian for all of his work to help us get to where we got with the sites. Eric Murray, back here.
Bolus on the forum.
Yeah, and then Norm.
Right behind you.
Here.
And Norm is J&B Firearm Sales.
And then Bill. And then we also had some help from several of the folks that manage some of the local outdoor private shooting ranges as well. So I think these guys also deserve an awful lot of credit for what we have here as an opportunity now.
Thank you.
Any words of advice for shooting in this time of year, fire season?
Well, yesterday, fire danger was probably as extreme as we had it last year. It was pretty high. Fortunately, it's a much shorter time period than we had last year. But obviously the big issues you have is bullet fragments can get into fine materials and start fires, and the punky wood that occasionally gets used, stumps and logs for targets, some of those bullets, especially the ones that are not lead, the copper jacketed, are very hot, and they will actually start a fire in that wood if it's dry enough. So be aware of those situations when it's this hot, this dry. Obviously watch out for that. And of course, a lot of you drove vehicles out here. How many have their shovel and their water with them? That's kind of important when you're shooting, so that you can possibly deal with a problem if it does develop. Just be aware of those things and deal with them, or by all means call us and we will help you. But that was the driver behind a lot of this work here. We've been spinning our wheels trying to figure where we can get traction to actually do better kind of development of sites like this. And it was the fire prevention aspect that kind of got us off center. And part of the driver was last season. That was kind of a bad fire season for us, but we had 7 or 8 fire starts probably from target shooting, and we probably spent over $500,000 putting those fires out. So there's real reason for trying to have sites more fireproof, safer to fire, or safer to use this time of year. So that was the driver for that, and hopefully we're successful. And again, thank you all for your help with this, because your expertise was instrumental, and certainly all of you coming and help keeping these sites clean. We can't manage recreation all of our own. We can't. We need this partnership with all of you to make this happen, and we certainly appreciate all your efforts.
Great, thank you.